Good morning and welcome back. Mr. Parker here live for today's episode of Homeschool Psychology, the talk show. We have a really wonderful show for you today. We have musical guest Kevin Rathbun and special guest Eric Law. Today our word is going to be accountability. What is accountability anyway? Well, accountability is knowing that you can count on somebody. It's being responsible and finishing whatever it is you say you're going to do. It's really important to be accountable because it's how we build trust and work through things even when they're tough. In my job, being accountable is really important. When I say I'm going to do something or be somewhere, I follow through, and students and teachers know that they can trust me and count on me. Sometimes I'll even create a little to-do list to remind myself of what I need to do when I follow through. What I need to do when I follow through. All right, I'm going to leave the singing for our musical guest, Kevin, today. But I want to introduce our special guest. And this is a professional lacrosse player for the last 8 years. He is an 5-time All-Star, a 3-time champion, Offensive Player of the Year, and he's even won a championship game MVP. Those are his highlights scrolling behind me. I'd like to introduce everybody to Eric Law. Eric, welcome to the show. Wonderful to have you. How are you today?
I'm doing very good. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited to talk with everyone.
Thank you for being here. So, Eric, I talked a little bit about your stats, but I know everybody wants to know, what else are you doing besides scoring 100 goals in lacrosse every day?
So besides being a professional lacrosse player, I work and run a program called Denver City Lax. And we are a nonprofit youth organization over in the Northeast Park Hill area of Denver. And we work on creating educational and enrichment opportunities for the underserved youth in Denver, while all providing it at no cost to our families. So I've worked with this organization for the last 8 years, and we help provide the opportunity for kids to play lacrosse that wouldn't be able to, because lacrosse is a pretty expensive sport. So we work on getting funders that help provide the opportunity to us, give that opportunity to our kids. So we pay for all the equipment, registration, all that stuff. So they have the awesome opportunity to play the game that I love playing, and that they're able to have a lot of fun playing with other teammates.
So cool. So your organization gets kids into lacrosse and really takes care of a lot of the costs of it.
Correct. We take care of every single thing that's covered. So no matter what that is in our program, we are a lacrosse program, but we also are an enrichment program as well. So we do different things such as taking kids on ski trips, backpacking trips, horseback riding, fly fishing, even do different like visits to colleges, different visits to private schools, all that kind of encompass of what kind of being a part of a team is all about. We try to help bring that to life and offer these opportunities through the sport of lacrosse.
Amazing. And we're going to have the information for that in the bottom of our little chat here. So be sure to check that company out. That sounds so
Yes. Check us out.
So Eric, you do some awesome things with the youth in Colorado. Tell us a little bit about who you are. You play lacrosse. How'd you get into that? How long have you been playing?
So it's kind of crazy to think about. I am 29 years old, and I've been playing lacrosse for 23 years. So it's been a very big part of my life, especially when I started growing up all the way till now to my professional career. I have 2 older brothers, and my oldest brother started playing lacrosse. And so when I was really younger, I just always watched him play and my other brother play. So I just thought that's what we did. So I kind of just started picking up a stick and started playing it at a pretty young age. And I've been thankful enough to have some great coaches and teammates along the way. And I've loved every second of it, and I've met some great teammates part of it that have been some of my best friends in my entire life. And I've just kind of stuck with it.
Great. And so I want to break into something else here. You just talked about being a teammate. And
Correct.
Today our topic is accountability. And I'm wondering, what does that mean to you in lacrosse, in your life, with all your friends? What is accountability to you?
So accountability to me is kind of what you're doing when no one else is watching. And it's what you're doing behind the scenes without someone there telling you exactly what you need to do. So Accountability is a big one for me because in professional lacrosse, we only meet once a week, and that is the night before games. So the entire week, you're going to be on your own to do your own training, to make sure you're practicing by yourself, and to make sure you're eating healthy and eating right and getting yourself prepared for that weekend to go play. So I would not be doing my accountability or being very accountable to my teammates if during the week I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing or training, or if I was eating really poorly, if I was going eating a bunch of junk food. I would then have a bad output on the weekend, and I would be not accountable to my teammates. And I think that is one of my favorite parts of being a part of a team is just everyone is a part of it. And that's why I love team sports, especially. I love watching them. I love being a part of them. I love coaching them because every single team is going to be different because every team has different people. And every single person that's a part of a team means something to that team. So even if maybe you're the best player on the team, or maybe if it's your first time playing it, you're on a team of people that have really joined it, every single person brings a lot to that table. Because if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing at home or even at practice, it's going to bring the level of the team down. But if everyone all buys in, as everyone's working together as one unit all together, that's going to be a very fun team to be a part of and a very special team. You're going to make a lot of great memories with that team.
Great. So accountability is like being reliable for your teammates and all the people you're around. So Eric, here's my question. A lot of our watchers have homework, and maybe someone's not around to watch them do their homework. And do you have to be accountable to yourself too?
Absolutely. You need to be accountable to yourself to make sure that you're keeping yourself in line, because if you're holding yourself accountable, you're going to be making sure you're doing exactly what you need to and learning what you need to be doing. And I know, like you said, homework might be a drag or a project or a test or anything, but you need to hold yourself accountable to not always have someone watching you to make sure that you're doing what you need to get done to be successful.
So Eric, you're like a real life success story to be able to talk about how hard work pays off. And it sounds like you held yourself accountable, you were accountable for other people, and accountability has just been a big part of your success. Would you agree with that?
Completely agree. Accountability is a big part of my life, and that's why I always love talking about accountability, because for myself, if I wasn't held accountable, I definitely wouldn't have been in the spot that I am today if I didn't have coaches holding me accountable all the way throughout my career to show me and kind of teach me how important it really is to be a part of a team and individually for your own successes. So I'm very grateful that I had those lessons of learning what accountability is, and I'm so glad that a team kind of showed me that I could then carry it over to my schoolwork and to my professional life as well.
Great. And Eric, I was talking about something I like to do to hold myself accountable is make a little to-do list or a daily routine. Is there anything you do to make sure you stay accountable?
Very similar. I love having to-do lists, and I love being able to have a list that I can check that off. And there's something satisfying to be able to check something off your to-do list. But then I also have other friends and family that also help me keep myself accountable as well. So they'll check in on me, making sure, just asking how I've been doing and making sure I'm doing it, because there are times that maybe you might want to slip up and someone asks you a question of, how you're doing, how's work going, how's your workouts going. And if they're asking you that, and you'll be able to look them in the eye and tell them that you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. So it's nice to have some teams or even a best friend always checking up on you every so often just to make sure you're on the right path.
Great. So a support system helps you with being accountable. And I'm guessing you're probably a support system for some of your friends too.
I do. I try to be for my friends and also for my players that play on my team. I always try to let them know that that's going to be my role as a coach, is to always just hold them accountable. And they know that, so they know exactly what to expect every single time that they come to the field.
Wonderful. Eric, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I hope we'll see you soon.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, guys.
See ya. Wow. Eric Law, professional lacrosse player, on our show today, talking about accountability. He did an amazing job. He talked about having a support system and following through and making a to-do list, just like me. I think that being accountable can help you be really successful throughout your schooling, throughout your sports, throughout everything. I'm really happy that Eric was able to join us today, and I hope you learned something cool from it. So for our next segment, we're going to head over to Teddy, our wonderful weatherman. Teddy, what do you got for us?
It's a monkey.
You're right, Teddy. There are a lot of fires in Colorado right now, and it is pretty smoky. So make sure you're wearing your mask if you're outside, and try not to spend too much time outside with all of this smoke. Thanks, Teddy. Our next segment is our kids segment. And we have Amaru and Z today doing some show and tell for us. So let's see what they got. Trucks and slides, those are some cool show and tell things. I think I'm gonna go get my Power Rangers action figures and play a little bit later. But next, I wanna take us to our musical guest. And for our musical guest today, we have a good friend of mine, Kevin Rathbun. And Kevin joins us from a fire pit in a backyard for his newest song, Ragamuffin. Let's hear what he's got.
Ragamuffin got my head in the cloud, waiting for Ragamuffin to catch me down. Ragamuffin got my head in the cloud, waiting for Ragamuffin to catch me down. Ragamuffin got me feeling all the time. Got me going on my mind. Ragamuffin got me feeling all the time. Got me going on my mind. Ragamuffin, baby, oh, I love you. There is nothing in the world that I would not do. Ragamuffin, 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 Ragamuffin got me feeling all the time, got me going on my mind. Ragamuffin got me feeling all the time, got me going on my mind.
Hey, I'm Kevin Rathbun. Adam asked me to talk a little bit about accountability, and one thing that really sticks out to me is, especially in kind of the creative process, is to hold yourself accountable to actually go out and be creative. And if you're not willing to motivate yourself and actually go partake in whatever realm of art that you work in, be it music or painting or poetry or whatever that is, if you're not going to be the person that motivates you, nobody else is really going to do it for you. And to keep yourself accountable, to continue doing what you love is some of the most important thing you can do to continue following your goals and really trying to do what you want to do down the road.
Wonderful song, Kevin, and thank you for those words about accountability. If you're not going to hold yourself accountable, who will? That's our show for today. Thank you all for tuning in. Remember, today's topic was accountability. And what accountability really means is following through on the things that you say you're going to do, even if nobody's watching. I know for me, sometimes I want to come home and just eat ice cream and nobody's watching and it might be okay, but I know later I might not feel very good. I might get a tummy ache from eating so much ice cream. So I hold myself accountable. I say, I'm not going to eat that much ice cream. No, I'm not going to eat ice cream all the time. Maybe I'll get home and I'll work out or I'll read or I'll do something a little more productive and just hold myself accountable to being healthy. So I hope you can hold yourself accountable. For homework, I want you to think about a way that you could be accountable. Maybe it's by following through and making a checklist. Maybe it's by checking in on a friend every Monday. But whatever it is, put it in the comments below. Send me a message. I'd love to have you on the show, Mr. Adam Ryan Parker at gmail.com. Send it in. We'll see you next week. Bye!
So how are you feeling? How are